All right, welcome back. In the last video, we talked about the workflow itself. Why I've been using Lightroom Cloud first, why Lightroom Classic still makes totally sense for cooling, and why this whole thing has been saving me a stupid amount of time. But this video, it's kind of like the practical side. Because it sounds pretty simple when you say, I upload everything from my phone overnight. But what happens if your phone dies or if Lightroom stop in the middle, in the background, or if the upload pauses when, I don't know, the screen turns off? What if you don't understand how fast you can fill up that cloud storage that comes with the Creative Cloud Pro plan? Because that's what you get with the Creative Cloud Pro plan. Just 103 gigs. So what happens if you don't understand all that? It's actually pretty simple. The whole thing just fall apart right away. So yeah, this is the part where we make the whole workflow actually work in real life. If you haven't watched the first video, I'm putting a link below. I would honestly start there first. That's the one explaining why I'm even doing this whole workflow thing in the first place. This video, it's more like the setup layer. The first video, it's why I'm doing it. This one, it's how I stop it from becoming a mess. So you know what, let's start with the obvious one. So if you're uploading, I don't know, 2,000, 3,000 files, even more from your phone, your phone is not surviving that on battery alone. That's not gonna happen. I don't care how good the battery is, it's not gonna last. You definitely need some sort of a power plan. For me, the cleanest setup, it's wireless charging, because the card reader is obviously using the USB port. Then the easiest thing is to just drop the phone on a fast wireless charger and just let it run. That way, of course, the card reader stays connected, Lightroom keeps uploading everything, and the phone is not dying in the middle of the night. The other option, I mean, you could use a USB-C hub with power delivery, you know, where you can connect the reader to the hub and you also feed the power into the hub. That can work too, but I'm gonna be honest, not every hub plays nice, you know, with every phone and every reader. So for me, wireless charging, it's usually the least annoying solution. Also, the other thing is, heat matters. If the phone gets too hot, it's gonna slow down. It might keep working, but it can throttle a lot. Then, you know, everything is gonna take longer. Make sure don't leave the phone covered by any chance. Also, thick cases, like protectors and stuff like that. Sometimes don't play along with the heat. Keep that in mind as well. Just don't let the phone, don't put it under something like your pillow or something like that. Just let it breathe. Now, the second thing, it's making sure Lightroom doesn't stop uploading when the phone goes to sleep. This is probably the thing most people don't even think about. You can have everything connected perfectly, but if the phone decides, okay, I'm gonna save battery now because I think I need it, then Lightroom might slow down or stop in the background, and you definitely don't want that. What I do is actually pretty simple. First, I keep Lightroom open while the uploading is happening all the time. Not minimized, not very in the background, literally open, always. Second, I stop the phone for going to sleep too fast. If your phone has a setting like I don't know, like a stay away while charging, something like that, use that, or just go to setting and set the screen timeout longer for that night. Number three, I make sure Lightroom is not being restricted on any way, you know, by the battery settings and stuff like that. On Android, you gotta go to settings, apps, Lightroom, battery, and set it to unrestricted. Also, make sure Lightroom is not inside of any sleep app list or anything like that. Because if your phone is aggressively managing battery life, it might treat Lightroom like something you can pause. And of course, that's exactly what we don't want. And finally, make sure your Wi-Fi is solid. I mean, most internet providers, they usually keep a steady signal overnight, unless they're doing like maintenance or something like that. But yeah, if you have a weak or unstable Wi-Fi signal, the app can stall, can restart, can take forever. And of course, you don't want that. So yeah, that's the boring setup part. But honestly, this is the part that makes the whole thing actually reliable. Now let's talk about storage. This is honestly where the whole thing becomes very, very real. So if you have, like most people, 103 gigs available in Lightroom Cloud, the amount of photos you can upload depends completely on your raw file size. So to make it very simple, an A7R5 shooting uncompressed RAW at around 130, that's usually around 130 megabytes per file, that gives you roughly 790 raw file. An A7R4 shooting uncompressed at around 117 megabytes, that's usually per file, give you roughly 880 raw files. I don't know, let's say you're shooting with the Fuji X-T5 or XH2 uncompressed at around 85 megabytes per file, that's the usual. That gives you roughly 1,200 files. A7 IV shooting uncompressed, that's gonna be around 68 megabytes per files. That give you roughly 1,500 raw files. A Canon R5 shooting standard RAW, that's around 45 megabytes per file. That give you roughly 2,200 raw files. So when people say 100 gigs it's enough, or 100 gigs it's nothing, the real answer is what camera are you shooting with, number one. Because if you're shooting smaller raw files, 103, you can hold a decent amount of work. But if you're shooting high resolution uncompressed raw files, that space is going to disappear very fast. That's why I treat the Lightroom Cloud like a working drive, not a forever archive. I upload the job, I work on it, I get it done, I deliver whatever I'm doing, and then I export everything back to my hard drive with the settings included and free up the cloud again. That's the workflow, and that's how it actually works. And this is where I think a lot of people look at the cloud storage the wrong way. I don't treat a Lightroom Cloud like a forever archive. I treat it like a working drive. I upload the job, do the cooling, editing, and then I deliver if I'm working for a client or whatever. Then archive everything locally and clean the cloud. That's the whole point. And I still have the all the files clean on my hard drive. And if later I need to open that job again, make another edit, change on something, I can just keep working the file locally. Yeah, I can do that. The latest settings are going to be there with the files. Super simple. Cloud is where I work fast. My hard drive, is where I keep the job, long term. That's it. And this is also why I don't think everybody needs some massive cloud plan. If you're keeping every job from the last 3 years inside of Lightroom Cloud, yes, you're gonna have to pay for that. But if you're only keeping current jobs active and then archiving locally when you're done with the job, you can make a much smaller cloud storage plan work way better than people think. All right, quick extra note. If you sync from Lightroom Classic to the cloud, Classic usually sends smaller, like smart preview, not the full original raw file. And those do not count the same way against your cloud storage. Just keep that in mind. But this workflow, it's different. What we're doing here is it's different. This is phone to Lightroom Cloud first. So if you're importing from the phone into Lightroom Cloud, You're uploading originals, you're uploading raw files. That storage does matter. And that's the whole reason why I wanted to make this video, because the first video, it's the big picture, the workflow. This video, it's the real life setup. How to keep the phone alive, how to keep Lightroom uploading overnight, how to understand the storage map, and how to clean the cloud after the job is done without feeling like you're throwing your work away. So yeah, if this is the first video you're watching from me about this workflow, go back. The link it's down below. Go back and watch the previous one too, because this whole setup makes way more sense when you understand the reason behind it, the reason why I'm doing this in the first place. That video, it's why I'm using Lightroom Cloud and Lightroom Classic together. This one, it's how I make the mobile part actually work. And honestly, that's the real point. I don't want a workflow that sounds good on only when everything it's perfect, or when you're paying a lot of money for subscriptions and cloud storage. And I want a workflow that survives real life, a long shoot, a tired night, a phone battery, a big upload, a cloud storage limit. If the workflow only works when you're babysitting everything, then it's not really saving you time. It's just moving the headache somewhere else. And I'm just trying to do the opposite. I want the boring part to happen while I'm not thinking about it, when I'm sleeping or just living my life. So the next day, I can sit down and actually edit, do the work, do the editing, fresh, and relax. Oh, and you know what? One more thing about Wi-Fi. So for this workflow, there's not much you need to worry about Wi-Fi. Only basically how stable is your Wi-Fi. So 2.4 gigahertz usually reaches out farther, way farther, but it's slower. Normally 6 gigahertz or the Wi-Fi 6E can be faster, but if you're far from the router or you have many walls in between, it might not be the most reliable. So for me, the safest middle ground is usually the 5 gigahertz. So still the most reliable. It's fast enough, and most of the time it's more stable for this kind of overnight upload. Before I leave Lightroom uploading, I made sure I'm on a solid 5 gigahertz connection. The phone, it's charging, and Lightroom, it stays open, and everything is running as intended. All right, thank you for watching. Just go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and subscribe. It really means a lot to me. I really appreciate it, but only if you want to. No pressure. There's no pressure at all here. And I will see you very, very soon.